Welcome to the 8th grade registration presentation. We hope that you will find all the information that you need to register for 9th grade next year at Farmington High School. We are very excited to be welcoming the class of 2019 to Farmington High School next year. The counselors at Farmington High School serve students based on the alphabet. Ms. Walker works with students A through F. Ms. Belko works with students G through LI. Mr. Fowl supports students LJ through R. And Ms. Newman supports students S through Z. If you have any questions regarding registration for next year, the counselors at the middle schools can provide support. But if you would rather talk to a Farmington High School counselor, please feel free to give our counseling office a call at 651-252-2517. And make sure to ask for the counselor based on your last name. Farmington High School counselors were at Dodge Middle School and Bachman Middle School last Friday and gave the same presentation to all 8th grade students. Your students should be able to access the 2015-16 registration guide right off of their iPad. It has been downloaded to each student's iPad in grades 8 through 11. Students should have also brought home a registration worksheet with a list of all the classes that students in 9th grade may register next year. Hopefully your students brought that home this weekend and you were able to take a look at that registration worksheet and begin to look at the registration guide. The registration guide can also be found on the counseling registration page. If you go to the Farmington High School main page, find the button Office across the top, and underneath that you will find Counseling Office. If you scroll to the Counseling Office, another set of tabs will open up and you'll see course registration. If you select course registration, that will take you to the Farmington High School registration page, and you will be able to log on there and register your student for next year. You also find a PDF of the registration guide. The high school schedule is a bit different than that from the middle school. We are on the trimester system and not the quarters. We have 5 periods per day, and students typically sign up for 15 classes per year. Most classes are 2 trimesters long. We do have some courses that are year long. That would be music, some of our advanced placement, and college in the school classes. So unless your son or daughter is taking either band or choir, most of their classes will be 2 trimesters next year. We begin the school day at 8:20 and we are done at 3:05. And we do have the additional option of a 0 hour when students get into 10th, 11th, and 12th grade to maximize the number of classes students can take. This slide is just a quick example of what our sample schedule may look like. And the next slide will actually have classes placed in so you have a better picture of what a potential 9th grade schedule may look like next year. This slide gives you a quick look at what a potential 9th grade schedule may look like for students next year. You see 2 classes in there that we haven't talked about, academic support and ramp. Both of those classes students will automatically be placed into. They don't need to sign up for those. Academic support is similar to a homeroom where students have the ability to make up tasks, get extra support and things like that throughout the week. Ramp is a class that meets on Wednesdays and Fridays, and it is our post-secondary preparedness program through the University of Minnesota, and really takes students through the planning process of the skills that they will need, and also kind of the pre-planning of what they think they want to do when they leave high school, so that by the time they get to their junior and senior year, they have a good idea of potentially where they want to head once they leave Farmington High School. Even though students are just beginning to register for high school, we do like to review the credit requirements for graduation. Students do need 55 credits to graduate from Farmington High School. By taking 15 credits a year, they can get 60 credits, so there are 5 extra credits built in case kids need to take a class over again for some reason. They do need to take 8 English classes, 2 a year, 6 math classes through Algebra 2, but we do recommend kids that are going to post-secondary schools take 4 years of math. Again, 3 years of science, 2 each year through their junior year. And again, students looking at competitive 4-year schools, we strongly suggest to take science their senior year. Social studies, 8 total credits, 2 each year. Health, 1 credit usually taken their 10th grade year. Physical education, 2 credits. Typically students will take those in their 9th and 10th grade year, but if their schedules get packed with other classes, they can take those later on. And then fine arts. And again, the fine arts requirements you can find in the registration guide. In the front of it, it'll tell you what classes qualify for fine arts, but students do need to take 2 fine arts credits before graduating from Farmington High School. This slide gives a brief overview of the 9th grade courses that are available to students next year. Their English credits are going to be made up of either English 9 or Honors English 9. Their math credits are going to be made up of either intermediate algebra, if students were in Math 8 last year, or geometry, if they were in accelerated Math 8 last year. Their science will be Physics 9 or Honors Physics 9. Their social studies will be Civics 9 or Honors Civics 9. Physical education, again, a majority of our 9th graders do take a physical education class their 9th grade year, and that's typically PE 9 or Fit for Life. And then that leaves them a room for 6 electives. And remember, those electives may be band, choir, foreign language, or any of the other electives that we have available to students. One other note, when students sign up, we do band our social studies and English classes together. So students need to either sign up for English 9 and Civics 9, or Honors English 9 and Honors Civics 9. So it's either regular English 9 and Civics 9, or Honors English and Honors Civics 9 for those 2. Those need to be signed up together, and then you can make a choice on Honors Physics, whether or not it's something your student is passionate about or wants to pursue. One of the questions we get during registration are what about honors and advanced placement and different things like that. And what we would suggest is, if you're not sure about what classes you should be placed in, especially with your science classes, English classes, civics classes, one of the best person to get information from is your current teacher. They could give you an idea about whether or not you're ready to handle an honors workload. The other thing you can do is take a look at your students' assessment data. We'd strongly urge you for, if you're looking at the Honors Civics and Honors English track, to really look at their NWA reading scores. We typically want kids to be, in the top 20-15% of that, so that they're able to read at that level and move along at that pace. And I think the other question about those classes is how hard is your student willing to work? The expectation in the honors classes is that they are going to move faster. The workload is going to be a little bit larger, and students just need to be able to buckle down and be able to find the time to do that work, whether it's throughout the school day or after school. If you have more questions, again, you could talk to your current teacher about that, or feel free to talk to one of the middle school counselors or one of our counselors. As you begin to look at classes with your son or daughter, we do want you to take time and be very intentional about the classes that you're signing up for. We will take about 6 to 8 months to build the master schedule for next year, and we want to make sure that we have the correct information as we begin to build that, and that is student registration requests. If you take a look at page 5 on your registration guide, it will talk to you about the process if students do need to make changes to their schedule. But again, we try not to make too many changes once we put a student schedule together, so we do want people to be very conscious of that as they select the classes for the upcoming year. All of our registration at FHS is done online. So once you've selected the 15 courses that your student is going to take next year, you need to actually go on to Family Web Access and input those classes into Infinite Campus. Again, this can all be done right off our counseling page. So if you go to the Farmington High School main page, click on Office, and then on Office, select Counseling Office, and then again go to that course registration page. When that page opens up, at the top right it says Student Porthole, and there's online registration instructions. Those will take you right through the process of entering those courses and registering online, and then right below it, there's a link that will allow you to register in Infinite Campus. The window is now open, and it will be open through February 3rd, so we need those classes inputted by February 3rd. And the registration worksheet that your son or daughter brought home needs to be brought back to the middle school and given to their teacher by Wednesday, February 4th. When they give that back to their teacher, there should be 15 X's on there for the classes that they put into campus. You are only going to put 15 classes into campus, and then there should be 6 additional classes circled, and those are alternates. So if for some reason your son or daughter can't get into one of the elective classes, we're able to make an intelligent decision in an alternate that we're going to put into. But again, only the 15 classes that are X'd on your sheet go into Infinite Campus. Do not put this 6 alternates into campus when you do that. If you need any help with this, again, your middle school counselors can help with this, as well as our counseling office. I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and just a couple of reminders again as you begin to register your student for next year. We get the most questions on math. Again, math students that were in Math 8 should be taking Intermediate Algebra A and B. 8th grade students that were in Accelerated Math 8 should be taking geometry. We also get a lot of questions about foreign language. If you're not sure whether or not your son or daughter should move on to Spanish 2, French 2, that sort of thing, have them talk to their foreign language teacher. That teacher would, again, give them the best information on whether they need to maybe take that class over again in high school, or if they can start with the next one. We do recommend that all of our students take at least 2 years of foreign language, and those 2 years do have to be in the high school. So even though the Spanish 1 and French ones that are in the middle school are the same as our Spanish 1 and French 1, since they are not transcripted on our high school transcript, they're not recognized by post-secondary institutions. And then finally, do remember that when you sign your students up for English and Civics, it needs to be English 9, Civics 9. Those need to be signed up together, or Honors English 9 and Honors Civics 9 together. Hopefully this video answers a majority of your questions. If not, feel free to talk to your student's middle school counselor, or again, give our counseling office a phone call at 651-252-2517. Thanks, and we're excited to see your students and have them in the high school next year.